Hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. My name is Victor Ken. I'm the Senior Sales Manager at QSAN. And today we will talk about effective storage for medical imaging solutions. Also, our Sales Director, Steven Lin, is joining this session. So if you have any questions meanwhile about QSAN products, solutions, you can just send us a message and we will be replying real time. And let's start. So let me give you a little bit of background. According to the IDC, the reviews in 2018, total amount of data generated by hospitals was at around 50 petabytes. And in 2019, the total amount of data was about the same, although generated forecasts expect that the amount of data should double or triple in 2020 due to the coronavirus. And the interesting thing about this 50 petabytes, 90% of this data is coming from the medical imaging, again, according to the IDC research. And the total overall, the market for the hospital imaging solutions is expected to grow at 8.5% annual rate, which is interesting. It's a good industry that's still growing very fast. So the question is, how do we store all this data, and how do we find the perfect solution for such storage? So to explain this question, we are running this session to introduce you to the hospital imaging solutions and storage for them, and also how QSAN stands in this space. So to start, let us explain the solution step by step. So we have different departments in our hospitals. So be it radiology, cardiology, ophthalmology, or any others. Pretty much all of them have generating images of some kind, the data of their patients. And also we have printers for sure, where you, be it a dentist or whenever you do X-ray, you always get some images, right? And do you know how all this data is stored? The main system that stores and generates all these files is called PACS, PACS. It's a picture archiving and communication systems. These systems allow you to take all this data from the DCOM modality devices from different departments and store it on the servers. And the great part is this way, when the patient comes, you scan them, you have immediately access to these images. But the difficulty is that in many hospitals, even now, there are different PACS for different departments, because different solutions are provided by different vendors for different types of medical institutions. So we have different PACS for radiology, for cardiology, ophthalmology, different PACS. And very often, if you have a central database for the hospital, you're basically not able to read all of them together. So as solution for this, now we have a system called VNA, Vendor Neutral Archive, which integrates all these images in a common format. So basically all the PACS will be accessed them and read them very fast and with ease. So it will be general integrated system for all hospital imaging. And now we can put them together, PACS or VNA. Image servers are located here. And what we have next to where these images can go to, we can also associate them with the hospital database, be it HIS, Hospital Information System, EMR, Electronic Medical Records, or RIS, Radiological Information Systems. So this is how our hospitals get our data and process it. They have a standardized system for hospital imaging, and they also associate it with our records. So basically, pretty much all hospitals work in the same way. Either they use the open source PACS or the big PACS from the bigger vendors, and the same for the hospital information systems. And for sure, whenever you come, you process your images, you get your scans, it's associated with database, and the doctor will be able to immediately show you pictures using the clinical workstations Or for example, if doctors would like to check it by themselves, you have diagnostic workstations as well. And now we have internet for sure, so we can, a lot of doctors, especially during coronavirus, are working remotely. So in this case, there are a few spaces where QSAN storage can be applied, or any other NAS or SAN storage can be applied. So first of all, it's a storage for PACS and VNA. All of them always need a proper storage under them. So this is where ideal fit for the NAS storage, because later I will show you this link between the PACS or VNA and the NAS storage is usually NFS. We usually use NFS for this purpose. And from QSAN, for this case, we can offer two unique storages, unified storage, Xcube NXT, which is HA NAS with the SAN benefits. Or for the smaller PACS solutions, we also can offer Xcube NAS, the traditional file storage. Most of them are quite stable, quite unique, whereas, for example, Xcube NXT, Xcube Next offers the dual controller design with a 6 nines availability. So basically you can run online hardware upgrades, online software upgrades. Also, it has both file storage, block storage, and offers scalability of up to 6 petabytes. And the smaller NASes are having scalability of up to 2 petabytes and come with different enclosures from 2 base to 12 base. So we can satisfy most hospital requirements, be it a small clinic up to the huge hospital that has thousands, 10,000s of patients. So if hardware-wise, we are relatively similar to pretty much all vendors on the market. Software-wise, we are quite a bit different. First of all, just like everyone else, we have a very simple UI, intuitive management system that can help hospitals to set up the storage very fast and manage them very fast. Also, we provide multiple backup options. So you can do on-site backup, remote backup, all are possible with our NASes, and it's easy, and these features are built in. And another great feature is remote replication, is a built-in replicator for up to 100 client devices. So it's another great benefit for the hospitals because it's a government institution always looking for budget reductions. But what most vendors are not able to provide is ZFS file system. And this is amazing feature for the picture archiving. So what are actual benefits from the ZFS and why we would like to present this feature as one of the key selling factors and decision makers for the hospital imaging solutions. Because in recent research from World Statistics, the X-ray reject rates accounted for around 25%. And in current pandemic, for example, if you have a silent corruption case in your data, in your files of like 500 gigabytes plus of 3D image scan of lungs, will you ask your patients that already paid a lot of money to come back to hospital to do the scan again? And silent corruption is not only issue, and silent corruption occurs due to different in different scenarios, like loose cables, unreliable power supplies, external vibration, and network errors, or even cosmic radiation. And the great value of ZFS here is it comes by default with the silent corruption prevention algorithm called RAID-Z. So basically, whenever you try to write data or try to change the data, it creates copy on write. So it's a separate file tree that is only created whenever you do file. Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me continue. So ZFS RAID-Z creates a separate files to create the copy on write. So when you have any network loss, whenever you have any issue with your storage if it happens. The great part is that ZFS will just remove the file tree that was newly created, and the main file tree will always remain intact. So we can prevent silent corruption just by this. And this is very smart feature, and only few vendors on the market can provide something like this, including NetApp. QNAP is trying, but still didn't come up with a proper NAS. But QSAN has been working with ZFS ever since we created our first NAS, and it's very stable now and a very strong platform. Another big feature is the ability to work with larger volumes and larger files. As we know, the PACS now generates images, it generates files of over 1 terabyte. So in this case, it makes it very important to have much larger volumes and much larger files support. And also for the future scale, because we are working with more and more 3D modeling of lungs, 3D modeling of X-ray and different images, it's very important to have an edge in the maximum capacity in the NAS and maximum size of the volumes. So QSAN gets you covered in this, and that's one of the unique features of the ZFS NAS. And usually the maximum scale for the 200 for the other vendors for the one single volume or single large file is 200 terabytes only. And another great feature of ZFS is we offer write one, read many algorithm that allows you to archive the data and protect it with a warm algorithm. So basically the data will not be changed for a very prolonged period of time. So if hospital that has sensitive data of different clients, different kind of clients is being attacked by hacker attacks, they will not be able to encrypt this data. They will not be able to change the data. And this is perfect for the high-end hospital solutions because the data will always remain the same for the certain period of time or forever, basically whenever the storage is alive. So this is the brief introduction for the first storage tab, the on-site archive storage for the PACS and VNAs. And we also can provide storage for the application servers. As you know, QSAN has been famous for its SANs for over 2 decades now. And we can for the hospitals, we can provide for sure our traditional hybrid flash block storage, as well as all flash block storage. Since we always been famous for our performance, we can offer over 400 IOPS and in 4K under 1 millisecond, which gives us an edge in performance and ensures that we can always provide the fastest access to the hospital databases. Also, no matter how large the hospital will be, they will be always be able to have the fastest systems running, and the applications will not have any lag in performance. And for sure, we have advanced levels of availability, such as dual active controller design. Also, we can rebuild our RIS faster, around 58% comparing to most other vendors. And also, if whenever hospital decides to scale, we provide online RAID migration and expansion. And our maximum scale exceeds 6 petabytes, which is more than enough for pretty much any hospital database. And usually such system would use iSCSI or fiber channel protocol, which both are supported by our QSAN. And the third type storage is storage for disaster recovery. And for this, I will introduce briefly, since we have a very cost-effective NASes. Usually, how it works for the primary storage and on-site archive, you would use A-brand storage because it's very fast, it's very reliable. And for the off-site archive, you would use third-party cheaper NAS. But since QSAN has multiple different solutions, we can provide very fast performing and reliable archives. And we also have very cost-effective NASes, which are also reliable, but they are much cheaper in price. And also having all-in-one solution from QSAN gives some big benefits. Because first of all, we have a feature called X Inside. It's a newly introduced algorithm, a newly introduced application that allows you to manage many QSAN storages using one software. So basically, you can check the performance of all storages. Also, if something is lacking, you will be able to immediately modify it. Contact QSAN support for any tips for each storage, as well as provide the timely upgrades for each unit. Other benefits from having the QSAN all solution or partially QSAN solution, we are famous for our support because we can reply usually within 15 minutes for pretty much any support ticket. Also, we have simple installation and maintenance because UIs of all our SANs are very similar, as well as for our NASs, and they are extremely simple, so everybody can figure them out. Also, comparing to the pretty much all A-brand vendors, we are providing much better price for the performance, and we've been a leader in the price performance ratio of the storage review for quite some time. And also we can provide price leading capacity because we support third-party drives and JBots. We definitely have an edge in this by at least 2 times. We can have our drives cheaper by at least 2 times. And from other side, this is very big scale solution for the larger hospitals. But actually, PACS can be also very local, and many small clinics as well using basic PACS server. And even for the small clinics, when they run PACS servers, they often would need smaller NASs. And as you know, our bigger competitors for the NAS storage, there are two of them. They have their own PACS built inside the NAS. But based on our research, actually most clinics and most big hospitals don't use their built-in software rather than use real PACS software, and they use the NAS just like a archiving solution for the PACS. So it's not an issue in this case as well, and our small NASs also have full benefits of ZFS file system. And as for looking for since most of our auditory today are our resellers and channel partners, how do we find how do we find the joint partners to run such solutions? So basically, it's very simple. QSAN very often they would work with the resellers of PACS or VNA image servers, or also solution providers who resell HIS, RIS, or EMR. This way, we can easily go together and sell joint solutions. And especially a lot of PACS and VNA vendors, they are searching for the NAS solutions to put together with their storage, with their software. And for sure, we have a lot of resellers who just work directly with hospitals. And most of the hospitals, actually in our research, over 95% hospitals already have digital PACS, VNA, and also the centralized database. A lot of our resellers work directly with hospitals because medium scale hospitals, they by themselves looks for NAS or SAN solutions. And in this case, since pretty much all PACS and VNAs use NFS protocol for file transfer, for data transfers, it's very easy to resell our NAS because it already supports NFS and it's very easy to set up. And similar for the hospital database systems like HIS, RIS, AMR, they all use iSCSI or fiber channel protocols. All they are virtualized on VMware. In this case, it's very easy to plug in our SANs as well. And also, I would like to share some references from our hospital solutions where we have already deployed our storage. And these are all the hospitals that we've been working on for the just last 2 years. And they are only coming from my region. So it's pretty much all coming from Poland, Bulgaria, Hungary, France, UK, and a couple hospitals here from Italy. But we have many more hospitals that we engaged and worked with, but they are all government entities, so we are not able to publish the references. And as you can see here, we have a lot of SANs deployed. So pretty much most of our hospitals using SAN, and usually they use our SANs again for VNA or PACS solutions, and many of them also using our solutions for the databases. So you see, as you can see here, a lot of hospitals need SAN because the scale is quite huge. And here are just a few hospitals who decided to go for NAS solutions. And mostly, it's, as you can see here, it's also generally quite a bit bigger solutions. So this is our brief introduction of our storage for the PACS and medical imaging solutions. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And if you need any pre-sale support, technical support on working on such, please let us know. If you have working on a project with PACS and other solutions and you need support to talk to the vendors, please let us know as well. We can support on this. And if you have any questions, you can write them now, or you can send me an email. I will be more than happy to introduce you to our local sales, and also we'll be more than happy to support you on your projects. And now we will give 5 minutes. In case you have any questions, please let us know. We will be very glad to reply.
Hi, Victor.
Hello, Raj.
Yes, just a quick question here. When you said that, when you're mentioning that you have the replication taken over between different devices for an offsite DR, just a question is that the format of replication remains identical amongst the filing system on the NAS, the FAS, as well as the SAN?
No. The block storage would use different replication. So the shared replication will be between different NASes, and another replication will be between different SANs.
So is there a chance or a possibility that let's say, for example, if there is a use case where the clients are using the VNA image servers on the NAS, and so the using the X replicator, yes, the information can go directly onto the offsite DR using the NAS itself. But is there any way that we could try and have a centralized imaging or a centralized replication taken up on the offsite based on the different platforms that are implemented for the production, as well as an on-site archive to the DR?
If they would like to use different platforms like SANs and NASes together in the same system, we would need the third-party backup software installed on the server side. But usually, in our case, if customer is running, customer would choose one storage like a SAN or NAS installed on the main side, and similar storage on the off side. So if it will be SAN on the backup, they would use SAN as well with the default replication services.
Okay, because what happens is in the SAN environment, majority of the clients will be using the SAN as a host to the virtual machines to make sure that, like, the data is never affected out in case if their core server goes down. So obviously what will happen is that when it comes to the replication part of it, they have to have some seamless method so that the backend replication gets transferred either as a block or a snapshot onto the offsite. So in case if something goes wrong, because here we are dealing basically with critical information as such. So what obviously the downtime makes quite a bit of a difference as such.
Yeah, makes sense. But in the larger scale scenarios like this,
Mhm.
in our case, we see that customers use VM software
Okay.
to run the backup from different types of storage.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, I mean, definitely third-party softwares are used to take a snapshot directly from the core server of the information and put it onto the storage, which could be a SAN, NAS, or the FAS also. But here, basically, what we are trying to see is that from all the three backend devices, is there any common method of shifting the data into one common block onto the DR side? Because what happens is that the format on each of these softwares will completely be different, because clients could be using the inbuilt Microsoft backup software or Acronis or Veeam or whichever software that they are using in. But the idea is to make sure that the replication gets taken up directly onto the offsite in one common block.
Yeah, that makes sense. In this case, for example, if they're just using our NASes, it definitely will work for sure. But if
Mhm.
it's a mixed environment, like a SANs for the servers and NASes for the PACS, then in our case, we don't have any native support for this
Okay.
native
Okay.
backup. Yeah.
Okay. Fine, not a problem at all. I think there could be more than one areas we could try and work around methods to make sure that the information is taken up.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. No, it's absolutely. I mean, it's absolutely a pleasure, because the healthcare industry is one activity which I think, if approached correctly, could be having multiple opportunities opened up.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Raj.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe we can stop our meeting from this point. And later, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or our local salespeople. We will be very glad to support you. Thank you and have a very good day. Cheers. Bye bye.
Great. Thank you so much.